Hello? Oh. All right, double checking. Yes, there we go. Fantastic. Okay. And then let's get the thing back in my headsets. And there we go. Okay, fantastic. So, alrighty, let's see. Oh, gosh, so many chords to manage. Bum. Are you going? You are going. Okay, fantastic. Yay. There we go. Hi, Emoji. Or Algie. Wait, let me double check the. I always forget the spelling slash pronunciation of that. Yeah, Malji. All right. Anyway. Oh yeah, there was. I'm looking on the Discord. Yes. I unfortunately have been very bad about scheduling the um streams in advance. So yeah, there's that issue. But as far as so what's been going on, I'm not sure how much I can say, but suffice it to say, there's good news coming. So yeah. Um. So yeah. Okay. Let's get going on this. I was debating back and forth whether I wanted to do a digital stream or a meat space stream, and I ended up deciding meat space since that is what we usually do. And let's get the music going. Come on. Alrighty. Here it is. Yeah, I think I could, you know what? I mean, it doesn't really matter. So I'm part so I actually because this is not like I'm not okay. Can you still hear me? Nope, that seems to off. Okay, there we go. So general idea is that oop, I need to turn that down on the gain. Okay, so general idea for what is going on with that is that I was able to get into an arts program that's sort of a grant, sort of other things. And general idea is that it is made to help me become a professional. So yeah, like uh, there's a whole bunch of stuff to go on about like, oh, do you have the capacity to make art that's good enough to sell? Well, the whole point is that yes, I do. Or at least they evaluated and said that I do have enough skill to make art professionally. But I do not have the business acuity side of things. Sorry, I'm trying to readjust everything to come on. Oh, no. So yeah, they evaluated my art. I gave them some samples and they said, yeah, you're probably good enough to make some money at this. Oh, and it's flipped the wrong way. There we go. And so they're like, hey, we'll try and get you to some business sides of things. Okay. Where is, oh, there it is. And it is all the way out of focus. Let's see. There. Okay. Oh yeah, I forgot. I need to. Yep, so that's locked. And then I need to get the exposure turned down. Yep. Okay, that's better. ink arm reveal, as if I hadn't revealed my arms before. You know, plenty of times when drawing and stuff like that. Actually, one of these times I should probably do like a self-portrait. Well, actually, okay. Wait, do I have 2 songs going at once? No. Okay. Let me just... Okay, so there's all that. But yes. Okay, back to the monsters. Yeah, so, and that's part of the reason why I was not able to stream this week, is because there was a whole thing going on that I had to attend. But it's fine, it worked out. But part and parcel to that, I sort of treated myself to something. So in celebration of getting into that program, because it was, turns out, fairly competitive, and there were only 3 people who got in, including me. But I got myself another fountain pen. This is the TWSBI Vac Mini, and it's a nice and fun pen. General idea is that it's my first vacuum filler, and it is really cool. I also got the ink bottle that works with it. And honestly, it's worked fairly nice. I have not really put it through the ringer yet, but I am hopeful to get some opportunities soon. I just need to get through the other fillings on my pens. So, yeah. But yeah. Okay. So, how about we get this started? So. Okay. And, oh, there goes one. Yeah, thank you. Hopefully this leads to good things. At the very worst, I also found some YouTube coaches that are not too expensive that I might you know, get the services of, just to get things beyond the level where I've been, at the very least. Okay. Oh, these are a bit out of frame. Actually, let's pull this down just a smidge so that it can, yeah, there we go. Okay. So yeah, alrighty, let's get started. Oh yeah, 7 down to 4. I forgot about that part. I always like these wings, so let's do that. And then I don't really want to do hands today. The weird triple nose thing, that's a little bit, that's not a fun kind of weird, at least not for me right now. And let's get rid of the smiley face. Alrighty. So let's see. Oh, and let me know if things are too loud or too quiet or anything like that. So I can adjust the balance for everything. Okay. Let us get going. So this seems to be some kind of spirally worm thing with wings, the angler, and the mouth. So let's start with the mouth. And then, although, you know what? This is more of a shell kind of thing. So maybe it can be some kind of like snail. Yeah, and then it can have wings emerging from the shell. Yeah, that looks pretty neat. And we give it the angler thing. All right, and now that we have the basic idea, let's start refining. Or, yeah. Alrighty, and then. So how have you been doing this week? Anything special going on for you? I mean, I've been dealing with the art stuff, so that's kind of been taking up a lot of my time. The arts program. I'm good. Union test went well, I think. Wonderful. Yeah. So now you're getting to be part of a union, I assume? I'll fully admit, I have not had the... I suppose the wherewithal is the best way to put it, to join a union. Well, I suppose, like, really it's just that I haven't had a job for, I haven't had a job worth getting in a union for. But really, I kind of should have gotten in a union. Well, I haven't heard back yet. It'll take a while. Fair enough. Well, I have my fingers crossed for you. Hopefully that works out. Yeah. So. Right. So we'll pull this in. And yeah, and thank you. You're welcome. All right. I like the general shape that this is given. Then, oh, you know what? I didn't leave space for the wings. Oops. Well, we will just have to tack them on however they fit. Actually, it would probably be, yeah. It would probably be even bigger than that, but for now we'll leave it like this. And here we have that. Failure, start over. I will tell you, like, there was a point in my drawing practice where, well, I was new to pens, like new to fountain pens. And this was actually when I was early on, sort of figuring out, oh yeah, you know, pens don't make my hands hurt. And I don't have sensory issues with them. But they were so, you know, they are so heavily committal that you will make mistakes and there's no way to cover, there's no way to erase them. So I would try to draw something like 10 or 12 different times and I would restart so many times. It'd be frustrating. And eventually I got a piece of advice. Well, two pieces of advice, and I don't remember where I got them or maybe if I thought of them myself. But general idea is that first, the only way to get better is the only way to draw something well is to draw something poorly 100 times. And so, you know, I would kind of stop caring about like, oh yeah, you know, this doesn't need to be perfect, especially because I'm going to start drawing better later. Doesn't need to be perfect now, so, because I'm going to draw better later. And then the other part to it was people don't see what it was supposed to look like. You can just cover up your mistakes and figure out ways to make it look like it was intentional. Like tattoo artists messed up a bunch of times before they figured it out. And, you know, people aren't ruined by the fact that the tattoo artist got like one little line messed up. No, they just make that line a little bit thicker. Same goes for writing, in my opinion. Yes, exactly. Like, writing is, you know, easier to change, because you just cross out and add another word or sentence or whatever. But you have to write bad in order to write good. I mean, it's kind of a piece of advice for all art. You have to do some, all art and all skills in general. You have to do something bad in order to learn how to do it well. And no matter what, you can figure out a way to, like, rework your mistakes. Now, as far as what it's done to my art style, that has kind of had like a bit of you know, good news, bad news kind of situation. Because like you can see, my art is very messy. It is intentionally so now, but up to a certain point, I was like, wow, this is, you know, this mess. I need to get control of it. I need to get better at figuring out what to do with this. And there were plenty of points where I was like, oh, well, my art is bad because it's messy. And eventually, though, I got some people who said, oh my gosh, I love how like energetic and messy your work is. It's like it's straight from something that's actually depicting the energy of something rather than the thing itself, the thing specifically itself. And that's also how I found out about scribble art, which is literally art made out of someone just scribbling a mess, but then turning that mess into something, which is generally how my stuff works. So yeah. All right, I think we are good on this one. I kind of like it. I just wish that I had, well, oh wait, I have a tool to help with that. Wait a minute. Yeah, I forgot. I have a white pen now. Well, if the pen will work. Okay, I think I need to dunk it again. 1 minute while I go grab some water. Alrighty. So here's this. And isn't this the world's like cutest little jar? It's great. I love it. All right, let's see. Are you gonna? No, you're not doing that. You know what would be fun to see? You trying to draw with color even though you're colorblind. That's fair. That is something that I've heard a lot of people ask about and really want to see. I've tried doing that. It just doesn't people think it's interesting in a certain way, but then it's just like I don't know. It's not different in a fun way to me, if that makes sense. Or at least how I've seen other people react to it. It's just different and wrong and like it's not wrong as in like Geiger wrong, it's wrong as in your 3-year-old a 3-year-old drawing a person wrong. TLDR, nuh-uh. Yeah, exactly. TLDR, nuh-uh. Okay, you know what? Let's get the feed in. There we go, and then we can get this in. But yeah. Also, like, I've had so many people try to fix the color blindness, and I'm like, really? Like, that's not how this works, buddy. Like, gosh, there was this one art teacher who I had to I basically not skipped the class, but I switched classes because he would just constantly be like, no, you need to do colors. You need to do colors because, you know, you're colorblind. You're like weak in this. And I'm like, I'm colorblind. That's why I'm weak in this. There's no way for me to fix that. Like, biologically, I don't have the receptors. I don't have the functioning receptors that are needed for this skill. So that was like a whole situation, and the disability accommodations department had to get involved, but it worked out eventually. Okay, seriously, are you gonna put out? Is this? No, you still have plenty of ink. Let's see if I can flood the. Yep, okay, I might have done a little bit. My condolences. Yeah, I mean, it's frustrating to have people just not listen to you, especially about something that is like very clear that they don't know about. Actually, I find it's the people who know the least who tend to make the most assumptions. Okay. It seems that there's too much ink on this already, so we're gonna just leave that, but it's good enough on this front. Alrighty, let's move to the next page. Oh, yeah, we can see it's kind of bleeding through. Anyway, next monster. Also, let me know if there's a way to, like, spice this, up. Because it feels like, I don't know. I'd love to have more people jump in on these streams and see if they would enjoy that kind of thing. But I know that, well, from what I've seen from streamers, usually it's like there are 2 or 3 things going. There's at least something else to go on to help hold people's attention. Or maybe it's just chats, you know, having their own things. I don't know. We'll see. Streaming is not the big priority for my channel, but it is kind of a bonus. Alrighty. So here's this. Let's see. Subway Surfers on half the screen. That can certainly be a thing, but I will say I am very frustrated with that kind of thing. I mean, like, I even that sort of overstimulation was like an issue for me. Not even to the Subway Surfers level, but like even just the fact of having a smartphone led to me spending a lot of time on that smartphone because I would get like cravings like an addict. And so I switched over to a flip phone. So yeah. That was actually showing my mom. My text was my mom. But yeah, general idea is that now I have a flip phone and it has helped a lot. It has made my life genuinely better. Little more inconvenient, but better. So here, let's go with the spine. I like the spine. Yeah, and I mean, it's not the flip phone I want to end on. It's not like, quote unquote, the end game flip phone. But it's the flip phone that'll get me to my end game flip phone. Well, actually, no. Yeah, I would be. Let's go for, I don't know what this is, but I want to play around with it. Maybe this. But yeah, having like, well, so what it is the flip phone that I have is called a feature flip phone. There's like smart flip phones and then there's feature flip phones. General idea is that smart flip phones are basically smartphones with the flip phone architecture. It just, you know, is more inconvenient to actually use, to do like social media stuff on. But then feature phones are the ones that actually have a lot more limited, like they don't even have an app store. But my phone, at the very least, has the ability to play some music. I can watch YouTube on it, though very poorly, very, very difficultly. And I have GPS, so that's pretty much all I needed. Oh, and of course texting and stuff like that. Okay, and let's see. This is, first off, it needs that eyeball and then kind of the mouth around the eye. We'll just put the lip and, yeah, kind of the head right here. Actually, this is not going to have an eye, or well, we'll see. Might have an eye. Actually, we'll make this the nostril. And eyeball. Eyeball. Boink, boink, boink. Boink. And I don't want to do too much over here, but I'm going to get that sorted out. And then we'll just have it kind of cut. Well, we'll have it shrink down into the spine kind of situation. And then spine, just go like that all the way down. And then, so I'm not sure what this card will do. Maybe it can be like the texture of this part. Yeah, that seems like it'll work. We'll start curving it around. And then let's build it out into this sort of fin situation. And here's the body of it. Yeah. And yeah. Okay, so this kind of works. Just a little bit of getting down here. And blotch it like how it's on the card. And Yeah. There we go. That feels pretty close to right. Forgive me if I'm quiet. I'm working on chapter 30 of my novel. Oh, wonderful. You're good. Yeah, I am excited. So chapter 30, that's how many pages / how many words for you? Okay, we'll do this. And then, yeah. 71K words, 197. Oh yeah, you mentioned the other day that you were at 70K. That's what it was. 197 pages. But yeah, congratulations on that. Well, I suppose congratulations again, because I have no doubt that I said congratulations in the moment. Yeah. And flip these around. And then kind of hide behind. Thank you again. Yes. Yep. Alrighty, I kind of like this thing. It's pretty neat. So then it's going to be this kind of bulbous sort of gilly thing. Yeah. Pruny. Probably the correct word. And we'll just... Yeah. There's that. And I give it that pruniness. Yeah, make it look nice and wrinkly. Like maybe this head expands even further than it already does. Oh, gotta go for a few minutes. I'll be back. Okay, sounds good. Okay. And so this, and let's give it a little bit of a fin right here. Yeah, kind of sharky. Gonna be nice and wrinkly. And yeah. All right, there we go. And there's that one. Yeah. Alrighty, here's this. I'm getting some really good monsters this time. I'm glad that this is working out so well. Yeah. Maybe I should do some research on how to get beyond the 0 people on stream. Like this can be, well, I mean, I know that answer number 1 will probably be, yeah, you have to stream for 3 hours every stream and then stream 3 times a week. Okay, we're taking out the cupcake. Okay. That seems interesting. I have one of these growing. Oh, yeah, and 7. Okay. So... Okay, we already did something like that. So we're taking those 2 out. We can... Or let's take this out. Alrighty. So here's these. I sort of like the... Okay. There's this idea that I saw in an earlier monster that I kind of want to pull back around to. Okay, it's probably going to take a while for me to find, but I really liked it. So I'm going to kind of do that with this. We're going to do it a bit differently. So the general idea is that it is a creature that has some little like cords going to a central point on its tail, sort of like it's built like a scorpion, but it has a bunch of strings going into the tail. So let's do sort of this chunky segmented tail. Yeah. And it kind of goes around like this, and we'll put you there, just as a general sketch. Yeah. We'll actually have some further out ones. And then these 8. Okay, and then a head. Some kind will have these come out of the head. But the general idea for this time will be to have sort of crossbow. So let's pull it up a bit more. And have it be pulled back. And we'll have the incense go right here. So that could be some kind of something. Yeah. Okay, so let's try and clarify that. Oh yeah, and of course. So maybe the idea isn't that it's a crossbow, like pulled. So like that kind of pulled by the second joints thing. So let's just lock this in. We're gonna kind of V it. And then, yeah, pull this kind of. Here's this. We'll pull. Okay, we need to get some detail on the thorax. We'll give it segmentations at each point. And then, gosh, this is a bit of a mess, but yeah. So the idea is that it pulls back to here. And then the strings kind of extend out. That's not how crossbows work necessarily, but, well, we can give it a better justification later. And then maybe there's some kind of incense bowl. Yeah. Good enough. I think if I were to redraw this, I would redraw it much larger to try and get some more detail out of it. But for now, seems like this is not taking to that without losing definition. So yeah, you return. Hello, good to have you back. While you were gone, I rambled on my own and ended up making this spider scorpion thingy. Yeah, so general idea. So there is an earlier monster that I have in this sketchbook that I really like the idea of, but I never made a video on it, so I'm gonna kind of save it for when I complete the sketchbook. And I'm gonna have like a whole, not month, but like a whole set of things where I'm going to go through my old monsters and essentially say, hey, here are ones that I would love to have made. But I don't have video of the original drawing, so we're going to just redraw it and stuff like that. But yeah, as far as that, so the general idea is that it has little strings going up to a central point on its scorpion tail. And it's using that to pull back a crossbow that has this sort of incense thing on it. So I'm thinking that the bolts of the crossbow have some kind of way to absorb the incense and then fire it off and have some variety of effects on something. But yeah. So there's that. Alrighty. And then let's go for another set. 5, 6, and 7. Alrighty. So, a couple of dino pieces. I remember where this one came in. We have a mermaid thingy. What's cooler, crossbows or bows? Okay, they're used for different things, but I will say that for me, bows are cooler. They're just in general my kind of vibe. Like, yes, crossbows are great for people who don't know how to shoot a bow. But the moment that you get, like, let's say a few weeks worth of experience, with a bow, then you far outstrip a crossbow. Especially, okay, here's the thing that I get really annoyed about, is that there are so many people who are like, oh yeah, target shooting is everything you do with the bow, right? That's the, you know, the Olympic archery style of archery is the form of archery that is the best. Absolutely untrue. Completely not, like, there's a reason why trick shooters and speed shooters do what they do, and why there are so many different portraits, or like in the not the manuscripts, what is it called, in the tapestries that we have recovered. We can see that there are people who are doing a variety of different techniques, and it's not just like, oh yeah, mistaken, you know, weird medieval art. It's actually like, oh yeah, this guy is holding the bow in his left hand, and so is he holding a bunch of arrows in that same hand. Oh hey, someone is using the right side of the bow, someone is using the left side of the bow. What does that mean? Or knocking on the right side versus knocking on the left side. And so really there's so many techniques that you can do with bows that just don't, aren't available to crossbows, that I'm like, I really wish we could have something like that. But at the same time, crossbows have such a technological difference and technological, like, they are so technology based that they kind of fit into that direction of, oh yeah, if you have a creative way of implementing it into something. Like, I always think of Guts's repeater crossbow. I haven't really seen Berserk or read Berserk, but I always think of Guts's crossbow that's built into his arm. Like, it's not supposed to actually deal damage, but as like a one-off shooty thing, that's pretty cool. One-off shooty thing to do. You bow elitists are just mad that crossbows bring power to the masses. I mean, look, I understand power to the masses. I certainly agree as such. I just think that the masses could have a little better taste. Okay. So here's this, let's see. I've already done a bunch of dinos previously, so let's pull those two. Two sets of claws. I mean, you know what? Let's just do one claw and call it a day on that. So we're looking at a mermaid with empty eyes, a zombie mermaid, or a zombie crustacean man. It's claws and it's a fish. So I don't know what's going on here, but we'll play around with that. So we're gonna kind of pull this. Wait, no, that's too small. Yeah, there we go. And it's gonna be, let's kind of curve it around and down, and whoop. A fish, you say? Yes, a fish. I'm gonna, bring that in. Gonna see if we can imply some foreshortening. Yeah, there we go. Alrighty. That's pretty good for the back. And then let's generally imply that the body is curving around here. So we'll kind of have the shoulders come over here with those big crabby claws. Those big old crabby claws. Actually, those are looking more like, what are they called? Beetle. That's looking more like a beetle claw to me. All right, and then here's this. Yeah. Let's get the head on in here. This talk of fish genuinely just inspired a line in my novel. Wonderful. I am glad I could assist. And then those empty eyes. Alrighty, and kind of there. Of course. We'll put a bra on, because of course YouTube does not like female presenting breasts, or female presenting chests and that kind of stuff. I have made the lower body a bit too big. Yeah, that's fine. We'll figure it out. Alright. And 2. Yeah, so this is, and then there we go. And now we can draw that, and then draw this, and shoopy-doo-doop. And shoopity-doop. Yeah. Make those a little bit nastier. All right, there we go. And these can kind of extend all the way down there. And we have it. Yeah. Alrighty, and now for the details. Let's just give a little bit of shading right on here. Kind of imply the shoulder extending out. And then we'll say bald. And then kind of this. We'll give it some fluff or some transitionary scales to kind of hide the butt. And yeah. I'm just gonna scale it up a little bit and imply that there are scales all over this thing. I'll just do it in transitionary parts. And then give this right over here a little bit of love. And bada bing, bada booshka. I think we are doing quite well here. Yeah, this is quite a nice monster. Beautiful. Oh, let's make this a little bit more of a segment. There we go. Awesome. Okay. And I think we have time for one more. Before the timer. Well, I say timer, but general like vibe of an hour stream. Honestly though, I think maybe in the future I should I should start streaming for a bit longer. That could be fun. We'll see though. Because I feel like I would want to have more than just, oh yeah, let's draw 30 monsters in 3 hours. Yeah. All right. Propeller. I'll print. Grab your hand. I know. Tooth sides. All right. We already have tooth sides, or we have two sides, so I'm gonna take that, and I've already rejected a bunch of dinos. Well, I've already rejected a bunch of dinos, so let's take that dino. You know what? There's a weird theme of dinosaurs kind of flying that I found. So let's just make the dinosaurs fly. Yeah, we'll give them a scythe. And then we'll do this kind of thing. Alrighty. Yeah, I don't know why, but like I've drawn like 6 or 7 dinosaurs, and almost half, and like 3, maybe 4 of them have some method of flight. So let's just kind of give this one little rotor kind of thing. And it's not like, you know, flying as in, you know, they're pterodactyls. It's flying as in they have booster packs or some kind of jetpack, that kind of thing. Actually, I think it is specifically jetpacks. I don't know. Dinosaurs just work well with jetpacks. I am drawing this terribly, but still, it's a pretty cool vibe. That's a pretty cool vibe. Yeah, sort of doing the cool guy turn away from you. So maybe it has 2 propellers. Yeah. Yeah, that's neat. We'll kind of give it an angled backpack. And there we go. And the shield kind of extends out a bit more. There we go. Shoulder down. Shoulder down. And then we'll give the backpack a little grabber claw. Oh, and of course we have to have the scythe, so that's going to be wielded. Yeah. There we go. So there's the little grabber claw. We'll mechanize up the thing. And oh, that is a horrible way to do this. Let's try it again. There we go. That's at least a little better. All right. This all looks pretty good, except for the scythe, which is like whatever. I'll admit, I don't really like scythes as like weapons. They're kind of stupid. Like the whole point of design. They fly now. Yeah. But the whole point of scythes is like pulling things. And you know, in most of battle, you're trying to get as much reach as possible. So like, why would you make something that you have to get around your opponent in order for it to work, you know? It kind of goes against the whole, like, one of the strongest things you can do with a weapon is give it a lot of reach. Like, that's why spears were so devastating, and pretty much everyone's primary weapon was a polearm, except for the archers, who could shoot even further than a polearm could reach. But yeah. There we go. All right. This is a bit of a sketchier one, but I wouldn't mind doing more of this. Yeah, good vibes. All right, sweet. Well, I think we will call it right there. We're 2 minutes after, but that's fine. All right. And with that, let's bring this stream to a close. For those of you with dark skies, good night. And if you have bright days, good morning. Whatever time of day it is, I hope you have a lovely morning, afternoon, evening, and night. Goodbye.